Hello, I am demonstrating how to make a salad for picky eaters. Not crazy picky eaters, just like me, who has about 20 foods who they eat. So we got some brown rice and rice. Brown rice is the most nutritious. Technically, black rice is more nutritious. The darker the rice, the better. But the rice that we buy at Sprouts has a lot of white rice mixed in with the black. So I think the brown is better overall. Squeeze it out into a bowl. Put a cover on it. What you're gonna do is put it in the microwave. You can also heat it up other ways, but I do microwave because it's easiest. Now I also make that 1 minute 30 seconds or 90 seconds for microwave or whatever else the rice instructs. Take some scissors. Now you can use any form of meat. I prefer meat sticks. They're very convenient. These are Paleo Valley. Pretty much the lowest sodium of any brand. They are very different each time though. Sometimes they're dry and flavorless and weird, and sometimes, like right now, they have the consistency of an Oscar Mayer wiener, which is slightly concerning. And there's a lot of juice, which, like, really, they change a lot. So this one feels and looks less healthy, honestly. It's hard to know with how inconsistent their batches are. I feel like you can't even trust the nutritional facts label, honestly. But you can use any form of meat. Red meat's ideal. Whole goal of this is to get a majority of your nutrition from one good salad. So I just cut these up in a cross pattern, and then I'll cut them into smaller pieces into my salad. So you can use any meat you want, or no meat. You know, you can do this vegan if you take out the cheese and the meat and the ranch and other stuff. So, trash. Then we wash our hands because meat is not a good thing to have in your hands. When we dry our hands, because it's very stupid to leave water in your hands, and there's literally no reason to do that. Unless you feel like just covering everything in water, which I don't think I'm going to particularly do today. Start getting our spices while this finishes, which will finish in about 1 second. That was less than 1 second. So, you take this out. That's our rice. That's our second bowl, which we'll use. First off, spice. Nutritional yeast has a ton of vitamin B in it. A lot of different vitamins too. Just nutritional. I disagree with the whole cheesy thing. I don't think it's really cheesy. It's weird, but blends in the salad with a lot of vitamins. Then we got garlic. Health, mainly health and flavor. All the spices have health and flavor. And then onions. I guess the nooch doesn't really have flavor. It kind of tastes like crap. And then honestly, I've been adding recently rotisserie seasoning. It's a bit of rotisserie, which probably isn't that healthy. Has some garlic, paprika. I don't know the health benefits of many things. And all-purpose seasoning for both flavor and for some herbs. Not the biggest stuff, but you can amplify any of this. You can go crazier meat. You can do full herbs. There's a lot of stuff you can do. I would put olive oil in it, which is a good thing to do, but my mom makes ranch for me, and we don't have ranch right now, so we're using store-bought, but she makes it with olive oil. So when there's not, we do get some olive oil. And for olive oil, what you're gonna want is extra virgin, cold-pressed, organic, from the harsher climates, like Italy and other ones. This one's from Tunisia. This container is really fast pouring, so you gotta be careful with it. But yeah, olive oil, great for health. Add some lubrication to it, which obviously ranch will do as well, but you know, helps to have some olive oil in there. Now we cut the ranch open. Honestly, I hate these containers because so like when you cut one part off, like one of these rings, they separate. So if you cut this part off and unwrap it, this will stay on, and so on. So it's very annoying to get these off, but obviously you can make your own if you want healthier ranch. Just look up a recipe. My mom makes a lot of it lately. There you go, all that wrapped off, and oh, cool, it worked. Obviously, shake your ranch. You don't have to have ranch if you don't want. It's not really healthy, but this is a picky eater salad, so without ranch, in my opinion, this would not be very good. Okay. Now we refrigerate that ranch, put it in upside down so it comes out easier next time. All right, so next up, cottage cheese. Cottage cheese. I used to use other cheeses, but cottage cheese is flavorless, basically textureless with the rice and the ranch and everything else, and has a lot of health benefits. It's pretty much agreed that this is generally the healthiest cheese. Some people find it gross. I lump this stuff on there. But yeah, it really does not have an effect. I like to use the bowl to put my cottage cheese and ranch fork also put it in a napkin if you want. So yeah, cottage cheese, great addition. Seriously, once you make this, you won't notice it. You notice I'm not giving it mounts. That's because I don't do that. I'm not a chef. Just enough ranch to taste good. However much cottage cheese you can do a little bit, you can absolutely lather it on. Even if you use a ton of cottage cheese, it'll still be unnoticeable in my opinion. So you can do some pretty good heaps of that. Next up, we got lettuce. Actually, before lettuce, what we do is we stir. So it's kind of mixed up. Once the lettuce gets in there, it's a little harder to stir. So I just like to run around with a fork, mix all that ranch and olive oil, and you never want the olive oil to set into one part, because then you have a very olive oily tasting thing. And olive oil doesn't taste very good. It can add flavor and help with cooking. Well, not best with cooking, there's like avocado is better for cooking. But yeah, just mix all that in until it's nice and consistent. Pretty simple. And again, I'm not a chef, so I'm not teaching you the secret ways of the Gordano Ramsayas. I got ingredients, put the ingredients in. Now, the biggest part for picky eaters, romaine. I agree, romaine, normally, if you were to take this stuff out, gross. I hate that. The stems taste like bitter water to me. And because how weird my taste buds are, the stems, believe it or not, actually taste kind of like watermelon to me. The stems of lettuce is what I think watermelon tastes like. That's how bad I am. And that's not enough for me. This may be good enough for you, just like a surface covering, but I like to get pretty hefty with it, because if you cut it up right, it's not very noticeable. And obviously, the more lettuce, the better. So I'll get a bit more on there. Now the biggest part of this is texture. So texture is very important. When you can get a big chunk of the stem, it does not taste good. So what we do is take the fork out for now. Put that in there. Cut it. Now you can use a shredding device. You can buy very shredded romaine. This is shredded romaine, but it's not shredded enough for me. So I just go in with scissors, cut up everything, stir it around, cut up a little more. There will still be a couple pieces left over that are kind of large, but you know, just eat those with a good serving of rice. And also the meat helps a lot with texture, believe it or not. Even if you have like one piece of meat, it kind of overrides a lot of the texture and flavor. Not sure what's going on with this batch though, why they're so like juicy and plump and red. Like it looks like they added artificial colorings and preservatives, which I don't like. But yeah, I do promote Paleo Valley. I've looked through every meat stick brand. It is the lowest sodium. And if you think you look through brands and you found a lower one, that's because the serving size is larger. So, or lower. So it'll have lower sodium. Compare the amount of sodium per gram. Paleo Valley is best. So, cut it up till it's nice and cut up. Then, you know, fork, put some lettuce in there. I used to, you can toss your salads, it works, but I don't have really good bowls to do that with. Plate covers it too much. The bowl is the same size, so some of it like kind of flings out in my fingers as I'm doing it, which isn't great. I found that stirring I thought would take long, but honestly stirring isn't bad. Stir it up a little bit, get in there, cut up any extra pieces you may have. And also romaine is the best, organic of course. Iceberg is basically just water. So romaine by far the best. So we got brown rice, romaine, cottage cheese, olive oil, onion, garlic, and a little bit of herbs. That is pretty much the majority. Oh, also nutritional yeast. That'll happen. Nutritional yeast is also very healthy. You can also throw in fish if you want fatty acids, but no, that's harder to do. And I don't want to add fish to this. Now for the meat. My method, there's so many ways you can apply meat. I kind of just bundle these up and cut them. So however willy-nilly I want, basically just into small pieces. So yeah, this may not be what you would see a professional chef doing, but I don't care. I'm not a professional chef, nor am I an amateur chef, nor am I a noob chef. I am, if by occupation, a courtesy clerk at Sprouts. So I'm not certified to be, I don't know, educating food sciences or something. I am educated to have common sense. And common sense tells me that the meat tastes good to me and I like it. So I add it. And also health benefits because it's organic red meat with not too much sodium, but God, that is, seriously, this looks so plump now. That's a lot of meat. You can do one meat stick if you want to do my method. You can do that, but I like how much more full the meat stick is. Adds a lot of texture. Really makes every bite just that much better because it tastes more like meat. So yeah, so creamy rice and meat, the salad when cut up really doesn't exist. So if you're concerned about the texture or the flavor of the romaine, if you do it right, it's not there. And you can toss it at this point, or you can do it just stir it even more. Make sure you get all that rice at the bottom. You don't want any of that unflavored rice to sit at the bottom. You mix it so it gets really deep in there. Stir it really well. Not too hard to do. I believe a 5-year-old could stir well. It's pretty simple. So definitely no chef skills required. You don't even need to use scissors. Well, you guess you do to shred it, but technically you're fine with store-bought shredded lettuce. You don't even need to use scissors. You just put stuff in a bowl, heat up some rice. Not the cheapest thing to do, but also I don't call it health is expensive. I call it unhealthy is cheap. People always are like, oh, healthy expensive. No, healthy is natural. Healthy is what you should be eating. It is not, well, it is technically still expensive, what you could call, but it's because of the economy. Technically, healthy food is the food healthy food should be. Takes effort and no pesticides and herbicides and stuff to farm. Unhealthy food, on the other hand, cuts money places. So like you wouldn't say a Toyota is expensive, you would say a Kia is cheap. Same thing with food. Healthy food is not expensive, healthy food is right. Cheap food and unhealthy food is cheap. Even though that statement is not very logical, but automatically grabs ears. So there you go. Meat, rice, romaine, ranch, spices, creamy, good tasting if you do it right, and very healthy, aside from maybe a bit of that ranch, buttermilk and stuff. With that, my friends, if you are picky and you would like almost all of your nutrition, again, not a health expert, but you know, you'll need some fatty acids, you'll need some other things, different vitamins and things, but if you want to make a roughly 10-minute, you can do it faster or slower depending on what you use. Easy, simple, no skills required, great tasting, great texture meal every day, as I do. There you go, the Picky Eater Salad.